Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Like Baby Shark mixed with dystopia and Stephen King. It's the Audience of One show on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5 FM, streaming on irlonestar.com and available wherever you tend to get your podcasts from. On today's show, we discuss a hiking trip gone terribly wrong, stealing from the dead, and the death of happy hour. I am Andrew, maestro of the run sheet. Next to the guy who has no shadows following him, it's Dick. I know a lot about vaccines and crap. Schisler. My music was gone. What the heck, man? I can't groove to that intro without the smooth stylings of one Mr. John Skeels. You not have a mic?
I do.
There you are, buddy.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Oh, nothing much, dude. It's June. It's like the greatest month.
Why is that?
Because my birthday's tomorrow.
It is tomorrow, isn't it? I have a little something for you.
Oh, really?
I do. So I'm going to send this to you, but I want you to be prepared to play said audio and video for the onesie because it is a multimedia gift. And I'm sending it right now to your email address, Dick.
Which one's that one? Which one? I have
Dick.
Okay. Dick. Man.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bummed out today. I'm glad you're happy. I'm a little bummed out because every now and again I get to thinking about all the microplastics that are sitting in my nuts right now, and it just bums me out, man. Like, seriously.
You worry about that stuff too much.
God, I sit there sometimes and just stare at the ceiling going, God, they do feel heavy. Oh, it's terrible. All right, man, did you get said email?
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to make sure, though, that this goes out over the audio and video for the onesies.
Oh, my
I'm
gosh,
so excited for this.
I'm kind of scared.
No, don't be scared, buddy. Just embrace it. Embrace it.
Oh, my God.
Embrace it. Make sure the volume's up.
All right, let me pull this up.
So what we're looking at there is a picture, everybody, of Dick's spirit animal.
All right.
Stale cracker.
Where you at there, Richard, a.k.a. Dick? Said you're turning 39. That's what Andrew's telling me. Said you're a huge fan. You're kind of jealous of the old flow, dude. It's okay.
I ain't jealous.
Somebody's got to do the flow, dude. But it's about you and your birthday, Boy, happy birthday. Sorry I missed you at the last crawfish cook-off. But it's your birthday. You're turning 39. Put something on a cracker, dude. Hey, even my dog, he said, happy birthday. Watch him, watch him. Oh. I don't know if he likes your birthday, dude. Put on a cracker, dude. Happy birthday, Dick. Straight money, dude.
Oh, dude, that is
Stale Cracker
awesome.
Wishing you a happy birthday, Dick. That is yours to cherish forever.
Oh, how does that work? Can I download that?
I tried. I didn't have much luck. That's why I forwarded it to you.
Oh, I got it right. Boom.
Nice. I don't know if you can or not, but that is for you, sir.
Oh, my God.
Your spirit animal, the guy you talk about just about every other week. I got him to do a nice cameo for you.
Yeah.
AKA Dick.
Well, what's funny is he had a rib episode, and they did a rib because he doesn't do barbecue.
No, of course.
And
not.
it was he had someone else cook. It was really weird. He just watched, and then they were cooking ribs, and he did one rib style. I was like, I'm gonna do that, and our mutual buddy Kurt's like, that's gonna be disgusting, dude. I'm like, I don't know. That looks spicy, and I want to try it.
You have some drops of Eye of Newt or something in there.
Well, it's just a bunch of Cajun stuff on it.
Well, yeah, I'm not
which
far off.
Which is, the Holy Trinity and all that kind of stuff. So, but that. I want to say thank you, and I
You're
really
welcome.
want to share that to everybody. I want to post it to my stuff.
Absolutely, go for it if you can.
And that is fantastic.
You're welcome. I thought about it a few weeks ago and said, "Ooh, this is going to be great." I thought I had maybe screwed up because I didn't pay for the expedited delivery, and it said that the performer might take up to a week to get back to me. I went, oh no. But I did it in plenty of time, so happy birthday, Dick.
Look at that.
Number 39.
How okay, Cameo is hilarious.
Yes.
And I think we've talked about it before.
We have.
But I always find it interesting where you're taking a time out of your day to talk to people you'll never meet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really
For $29.95.
Yeah, it's really interesting to me.
Yeah. Well, I'm always surprised at the celebrities that do it and folks that really don't need the money. Like, they're very well off doing cameos for $50 a pop or whatever. I'm thinking, how much money could you actually be making from this? To me, they just like doing it.
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe it just puts them in the good graces with their fans.
Well, I think that's also something where certain celebrities know they're only there because of the fans. And if you ever meet Stalecracker,
I feel like I have already.
He is very good about entertaining everybody. So if you ever got a chance to go see him at a cook-off or whatever, it's a lot of fun.
Well,
And,
he's apologetic that he didn't see you at the last crawfish festival.
man, I was sitting there. I talked to Waldo, and I was like, "Hey, where's Stalecracker?" And he's like, "Oh, he's out and about." I'm like, "Oh, I'll meet him. I'll see him
At some point.
And then no, I never saw him, and I was like, "That's wild." But it was also really hot, and I
Yeah.
discovered there was a VIP tent where he's next to cooking.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine he's like, it's too hot to be walking around.
Air condition.
So
He went and found some air condition.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Well,
But
awesome, man. Well, happy birthday.
That is awesome. I got to figure out how to download it.
Yeah,
and
we'll figure it out. Dick, I saw something on my lawnmower the other day because I'm at that point of the year where I'm mowing my yard every single week now.
yeah.
Maybe sometimes like every 5 days because I may have hit it a little too hard with the fertilizer. Anyways, and I looked down and it said 6.75 horsepower. And I thought that was pretty interesting because I've seen a horse before. And they're
Oh.
pretty big.
Yeah.
And in fact, they seem pretty strong. Yet here's my lawnmower that I walk behind every day that says it's got 6.75 times the power of one of those horses. Yet it'll get choked up if I let the grass grow more than about 4 inches thick. I'm not buying it. Do you really think that little thing has 6.75 horsepower? There's no way. Who's proving this? Or are they just putting this on there some sort of advertising, marketing?
I learned this a while back, but I looked it up. Basically, horsepower is a unit of power that measures the rate of which work is done. It originally started where steam engines would be compared to the work of draft horses. So how many horses does it take to move this much weight? So that's why it's
I'm thinking it's not
5.7.
really applicable anymore, though.
So 1 horsepower is defined at the rate of which is a force of 550 pounds acting through 1 foot in 1 second.
You said a lot of words there I don't understand. I just don't think I've got 6.75 of those bad boys in my lawnmower is what I'm getting at.
Well,
I think it's just a unit of measure we use now because we're used to it.
Well,
but
no,
nobody can really define it.
Well, it's not the speed; it's the power that is
How
required.
fast it moving the blade.
Well, everything. That's why it's a measure of everything that
It is
machine takes.
It
to
is
move.
self-propelled, so maybe that's where all the
That's where the
extra
0.7 comes
yeah,
in.
right. That's where the oomph is needed.
But no, that's what I remember learning about that because it was funny to me where when cars got ridiculous, where they got like 1,000 horsepower,
Right.
and I always
I'm like, yeah, right.
well, I always like compared that to the speed, but then when you started seeing 1,000 horsepower and they're not that fast, it's like, what's really going on here? Then you learn, oh, it's because the thing is so heavy, it requires so much.
Or it can pull so much,
Yeah.
right?
That's what it is.
I don't know. I'm calling bullshit. That's all.
I like it.
Whatever.
What happens if horses go extinct? Think about like in 200, 400 years, they're extinct for some stupid
Yeah,
reason.
it does make me wonder how long we're going to carry out this tradition of measuring things in horsepower. Like in 1,000 years from now, when horses have gone extinct,
Yeah.
right? We're like, what's a horse and why? How much power does it have?
Yeah, like do you
I mean,
think
it's already
do you
kind of
think in Waterworld they do
ambiguous.
horsepower or they do knots?
Knots. No, they do like shark power.
Shark power? Is that what you think?
Something. I don't know. Amphibian power.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love it. But yeah, man. Did you have a good weekend?
I think so. I don't really remember it, so it must have been good. Know what I'm saying?
Must have
Know what
been
I'm saying?
great.
Know what I'm saying? Dick, have you ever or did you ever play the game Dance Dance Revolution?
Yeah.
Do you remember this game?
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
play it?
Oh yeah.
Were you pretty good at it?
No.
I thought of this game the other day. It came up on a video through one of my reels, and I went, man, I haven't seen a Dance Dance Revolution game in a while, but it did remind me of when you go to the arcade, there'd always be that one guy who's like in his early 20s, really sweaty. just going through, tearing it up. There's like a group of 8 or 9-year-olds watching him, and he's like showing off. A few of them are annoyed because they want to play, but he's like, this is my time to shine. And let's just say,
same thing with like Guitar Hero.
he was kind of, they're usually on the spectrum. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Really?
Right? They're always a little
neurodivergent.
They were a little odd. I never played that game, man. I guess I was too self-conscious.
I think I played it several times, and it's entertaining, but it's also something I had no desire to be good at. I'm like,
this guy was clearly good because he's ripping through the levels. So he's practiced, and people are like, wow, look at him. Yeah, man. I'm thinking about this one time in particular that I remember.
Yeah, it's.
But as big as a dork as I think those people are, I was guilty of this in college. Do you remember the game Golden Tee?
Yeah.
I used to play Golden Tee at the bar and get really into trying to hit a 300-yard drive, and I'm in the corner of the bar. Meanwhile, there's all sorts of young ladies walking through, I'm sure. I'm completely ignoring them, going, yeah, I'm in the prime of my life in my 20s, and I'm all sweaty playing Golden Tee in the corner of the tavern. Good God, I was a loser.
Doesn't make you a loser.
Loser no more now. Look at me, slaying it behind this mic once a week with you.
Yeah,
Fridays at 10 a.m., everyone.
Well, I mean, nothing wrong with liking Golden Tee. I found it kind of hilarious that people played it to the point where they would have like cards where you put like your credit card in or something, and you had a password.
Oh,
and
wow.
It would save your character. And,
I never knew that. Back when
yeah.
I was playing, it was still just put in $1 or whatever.
Yeah, this was like you could travel with it, and I always thought that was entertaining.
It's kind of awesome.
One of my good buddies played it a lot, and when I went to go visit him, we went to his local watering hole, and he's like, "You want to play Golden Tee?" I'm like, "Sure." I mean, like, I like games. And then when he loaded up, he had this character that was dressed so ridiculous, and I go, "Oh, you really played this game?" I thought we were just gonna play, like, just hit the ball, but like clearly you know exactly how to play.
He knows what he's doing,
and nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong at all. Like I said, I was the dork who played it.
But Dance Dance Revolution, that game, it really did take a special person who liked it.
That's what I'm getting at.
Similar to like the drum game or any type of like game that requires a completely different type of controller.
Mm-hmm.
So those people who play Guitar Hero are really good. That's always funny to me.
And they really thought they were playing guitar too. Contrary, you're just mashing buttons in a sequence is all you're doing. Now, granted, it's a skill.
It's fun.
But you're not playing guitar. Oh, yeah, it was fun. It was also frustrating. Because it does seem like it would be really easy, and in some cases it is, but then, like, Eruption comes on, and you're like, oh, man, you're trying to play it behind your back.
Yeah.
Being all cool. It's hard to be cool when your guitar doesn't have strings and just has buttons.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have the same effect.
Yeah.
The ladies don't seem to like it as much.
Go for it.
I was talking to a friend the other day, Dick, and she said that her mom's dog died during surgery.
Okay.
And I thought, oh, no, that's terrible. But what really was weird about it, it wasn't like to repair a spleen or to remove some sort of cancerous material. It died during a dental visit where they have to put the dog under to remove a tooth or do a tooth cleaning or something like that. And the dog passed. Now, as sad as that is, my first question is, when that happens, do you still have to pay?
I would hope not. I would hope
because,
not.
like, that's got to be an awkward phone call, first of all, that your dog has passed away during a tooth cleaning, and then they say, and by the way, when you get a chance, and they slide the bill, a little forward, it's going to be $1,700. When you get a chance. Doesn't have to be right this minute, but it does need to be in the next 24 hours. That's weird. Well, in their case, yeah, they did have to pay.
Really?
Which I thought was kind of odd. But, I mean, look, there was, I'm sure, medicine that was involved in getting the dog to sleep. There was a procedure being done.
What's wild about that is
I would have paid.
I would ask that person, is that your normal vet? Because a lot of times when you have a vet, like, whoever has like their own vet, and they always take their dogs to the vet, I always ran into situations where they just give me stuff for free.
Yeah, that's you though, man.
And,
that's how you roll.
But it's also like I only go to that person for everything. So luckily for me, where I live, the only vets are out there are like full-on vets. They do horses, they do all that stuff. So they have all the equipment for any type of animal.
They also cleaned your teeth too,
and they offered.
Mm-hmm.
But no, but going to like a random emergency clinic, I can see them not really caring. They're like, we kill dogs all the time.
Yeah.
Here you go.
I don't know. I just thought it was strange that they had to pay. I guess because in the paperwork you sign, there's always a chance. Hey, look, anytime you put an animal or a human under, for that matter, there's a chance they're not coming back up.
Because
So
depending on
it
the
happens.
vet, that's what it's funny. I would go to the same vet as my buddy, Mitchell buddy again, Kurt. They gave him free X-rays because the doctor knows Cutter. And something was going on with him, and we couldn't figure it out.
And he knew that Kurt's such a cheapskate, he's not going to pay for himself.
Like,
look, man, I'll give it to you for free. This dog has issues.
We're going to figure this out. Well, he got bit by a copperhead.
Just kidding, Kurt. Oh, no.
And so, but then there was another issue on top of that, but they didn't know it was going on. And so he's like, something else is up with this dog.
Now it has like super dog powers.
I don't know, maybe.
That'd be great.
But it's that anti-venom. He's basically Bane.
Is it anti-venom or anti-venin?
Venom.
Venom? Okay.
Yeah.
I think I've heard it both ways.
Yeah, I've heard it both ways.
Is it synth or scythe? I don't know.
Well, there's two different words.
Yeah, that's right. They have vastly two different meanings. All right, buddy, let's go ahead and kick off this show because I think it is about time to do so. 2 hikers in New York's Adirondack Mountains called 911 to report a third member of their party had died. Well, that's a bummer. You go out to hike up there in the Adirondack Mountains, probably having a good old grand time. One of your buddies croaks. But as it turns out, they had taken hallucinogenic mushrooms and were mistaken. They just thought that their friend had died, and they called authorities to come get him. A state forest ranger responded to a call Saturday about a hiker who had reportedly died on the Cascade Mountain, a popular summit in the Adirondack High Peaks. The 2 hikers who called 911 also told the steward on a mountain summit that they were lost. The steward determined that the hikers, quote, seemed like they were in an altered mental state. And much to the surprise of the mountain steward, the supposed dead person also called. And that's when he was alerted to the fact that this guy was still alive. The ranger escorted the 2 hikers down to the ambulance, which took them to the hospital and brought the third to the group's campsite, where they all later met up. Hey, man, kind of weird. Thought you were dead. Now, here's the thing: is I can't determine is that a really good trip, or is that a really bad one? I don't know, man.
Well, it all depends on your perspective. I imagine.
It's a yay boo. You thought he was dead, but as it turns out, I was just really high.
Like the rolling emotions you went through, you usually don't experience. So your body's kind of like, whoa.
Can you imagine that? How high were you? You thought your friend was
Well,
dead.
what sucks about that is how embarrassing that is, because you have to go to the ambulance and you're just tripping. If that makes sense.
Well, and on top of it, you're looking over at your friend now, very alert and talking. And you're like, man, just minutes ago, that dude was dead, man.
Yeah, I like it.
That him effer over there is not real. That's what I would be saying.
Well, clearly, you've never done shrooms. And
no, not today.
I think, well, that would worry me if I were hiking and all of a sudden you were gone. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, oh, great. But
so that's the thing is, I think that he was...
Because if the other guy called...
that's what I'm thinking is he got they got separated.
Yeah.
They weren't looking at him going, bro, you're dead.
Everyone's dead.
I think they got separated, and they had probably one of those, you know what object permanence is? Yeah, when something is out of your sight, you when you're a baby, you don't know that that's actually just around the corner. You think it's gone.
Yeah.
And I think when you're tripping on shrooms, they probably had a little bit of objects permanence issues going on and said, he must be dead. He's like, no, dude, just taking a leak.
Well, ironically, it was probably like they didn't even look for more than 2 minutes. And then they're like, it's been 4 hours.
We got to call quick, man.
Yeah. Well, then again, you don't want to mess around with that stuff. I don't know if I'd ever go hiking where I need to call somebody to do drugs. And
yeah.
Like, that's not a smart.
Maybe in Sam Houston National Forest, but not the Adirondacks.
Well, always got to
That's where we draw the line.
Well, you have to have
shrooms.
a sober buddy when you do anything like that.
Yeah, that's true. You got to have an accountability partner.
Yeah.
The problem was the third guy, he was not sober either.
I wonder if they're still friends after that.
I bet it brings them together as a group. Nice little story to tell.
That's funny.
Do you remember a few weeks ago we talked about the shark fisherman who saved the girl with his drone?
Oh, yeah.
Well, on the backs of that, this story out of New York City, talking drones will help New York City swimmers in trouble this summer. Mayor Adams says, joking that the bots will have his soothing voice. So get this, we're going to have some drones that come out and have the ability to be communicating with people who are in distress in the water and talking to them. So have you ever been in an airport where you have like a recording of the mayor that comes out and he's like, welcome to New York City, the fabulous city that never sleeps. We have the best restaurants and all the best shows. I can imagine this Mayor Adams voice coming out and it's like, I see that you're in distress, but fear not. We're calling them for authorities right now. Perhaps I could throw you a flotation device. Something. I don't know, but can you imagine this?
I would be annoyed.
Shut up and save me. Imagine drowning in the rough waters off of New York City, and suddenly you hear a voice coming to save you, and it's Mayor Adams' voice. The new high-tech drones with life-saving capabilities would be hitting the coast of the Big Apple this summer, and jokingly said that they would feature his calming voice.
Yeah. Well, if it has life-saving features on it, then go for it.
The drones
I
will...
think it's kind of funny, though, because you're sitting there, imagine swimming, and you're stranded, and a robot comes. It's like...
It's flying over the top of you.
It helps on the way.
Yeah, exactly. Can you just throw me something? Come on. I like this. It says the drones will, in fact, have interactive capabilities. The new devices can connect swimmers in danger zones with first responders, give them guidance on how to swim in a rip current, and it says, and even drop a flotation device. I would start there. I'm just going to say, start with the flotation device.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't work, maybe you give them some tips on swimming in a riptide. Can you imagine? No, sorry. That looks like your stroke is not adequate. You're going down. Stroke a little harder, so to speak.
Yeah. It's like, your probability has dropped 30%. Please try.
I'll call for authorities. Please hold.
I like it.
I don't know. It's the last thing I want to see when I'm in trouble is a little floating drone recording me in ultra high 4K as I'm struggling to survive. I don't know, man. Sounds weird to me. Smith County, Texas. A woman was arrested after attempting to steal a wig from a corpse at a funeral home.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
The funeral director notified the Tyler Police Department, I believe Tyler is North Texas, east of Dallas, on May 23rd, that Tanya Boyd had gone into the preparation room and had removed the wig from a body, according to a Smith County arrest affidavit. Good God.
Yeah.
So I guess she just walked in and went, thank you. I'll take that. Officials spoke with the funeral director on May 28th, who stated that Boyd had been at the funeral home earlier in the day before the incident and was asked to leave. Later that day, she returned, though, and snatched herself up a nice wig.
Well, see, what's funny about that that scenario is what happens is, imagine she not being caught, like she wasn't caught.
Well, it says initially she left with witnesses noticing her, but did not realize that the wig didn't belong to her. They just thought who's going to suspect that you're going to walk in?
Well, then you have to, like, imagine being the director and you go, wait, we had a wig on her, right? Like, right?
You see her just walking around.
Yeah. And then, like, when the funeral actually happens, the family's like, hey, where's her hair?
What are your thoughts on the open casket funeral? I'm not a fan. I like to think of them the way they were before, ambulatory, alert, spry, perhaps.
I mean,
I'm not a big
you're
fan
talking to
of
a
that.
guy who wants a Viking funeral.
Yeah.
So, to me, it doesn't matter if that's what their personal wish was, then go for it.
I want everybody to look at me one last time.
What you can do is creep everyone out, is do an open casket, but request that your right hand is up, like you're saying the Pledge of Allegiance or doing swearing in.
Or
and
if I can just high five you on your
it
way
says,
out.
It says free high fives on, like, when you pass. You
Nux,
could do that.
bruh, nux.
Yeah, and then I mean, who cares?
I don't know. I do. I don't care for them. I think it's an odd thing to
Really?
do.
You think that's an odd thing?
Yes, I think it's an odd thing. Everyone come in and look at the dead person.
Yeah.
That's odd.
That's cool.
No, that's odd. Well, hey, I guess the wig is really it's kind of a harmless thing, but if she had stolen something like the watch off of his wrist that had belonged to his grandfather or her, whatever, I'm assuming this was a female. But you never know. I don't want to gender a sign where gender may not be.
Maybe that wig was originally theirs.
This is true. The director reported that he had purchased a new wig to replace the stolen one, and the family had been notified. Following the investigation, she was charged with theft of property from a human corpse. So let that be a lesson to you, Dick.
What a weird phone call.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Right?
To the family.
Yeah.
So everything is according to plan. Looks like Mom will be buried at 2 o'clock on Saturday. One small issue, though. Do you happen to have any secondary, maybe backup hair pieces? Because what had happened was...
Well, because that reminds me of like a Flintstones episode or something where the main character, it happens, they're like, oh, let's not tell anybody, we got to find a wig to replace it with. and hopefully they don't notice.
Yeah, that is interesting because if you're the funeral director and you call that family to say it's been stolen, it does make you appear a little incompetent. What,
Yeah.
you just let anybody walk in here? The body's open for anybody to see? So part of you thinks, well, maybe if I just throw a Larry Curly and Moe wig on there or something, and
Yeah.
on top, no one will notice. But then you run the risk of them noticing, and then you're in even more trouble.
Yeah, again, interesting
I
phone
don't
call.
know. This is an interesting story.
Because I know if someone called me about that, I'd be
Mhm.
like, so wait a second. There's a wig on mom, right? Yeah. Okay, cool.
It's the way she wanted it to be.
So someone stole it? Yeah. But there's a wig on her right now.
All right, just seal it up tight. Let's go.
Okay. You were good.
2 family members were charged with conspiring to support a Mexican cartel designated as a terrorist organization. This is kind of an interesting story, and it happened right here in Texas. But Maxwell Sterling Jensen, quite a name. He's 25 years old, along with his dad, James Jensen, 68, both from Sandy, Utah, were charged with conspiring to materially support a Mexican cartel designated as a terrorist organization and conspiracy to commit money laundering as well as related smuggling charges. You got to throw the smuggling charges on top. But what they were doing is they ran an oil company,
Yeah.
and they were somehow selling oil illegally to the Mexican cartel. And I guess they were saying that, the oil was sold over somewhere else, but in fact, they were doing this right here in Rio Hondo, Texas. Talk about a high-stakes game, man. That seems awful. First of all, how do you get in touch with the Mexican cartel? Do they call you?
They probably called you.
And then they make him a sweet deal that he can't refuse?
Yeah. That's usually how it goes.
Man, I ain't
We
messing
kill your
with,
family.
I ain't messing with
Oh,
the
you
cartel.
sell us oil.
But what does the cartel need oil for? I could understand like gasoline. It's already converted into something you can use. But if they don't have the ability to refine it, are they then just turning around and reselling it themselves?
They might be able to have an ability to refine it. They also might be using it for their products.
What products is
The
that?
drugs or something. I don't know.
Are drug products better when they're
I don't know what
petroleum based?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how to make those drugs, but
It says when the men were arrested, authorities seized 4 tank barges. I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming 4 tank barges is a lot. That contained crude oil as well as 3 commercial tanker trucks, 1 personal vehicle, and an Arroyo terminal pickup.
all right. A tank barge is measured around 195 feet long, 35 feet wide. So basically, it was a ship. It was one of those flat ships that
Ships.
Yeah. So that's what it is.
That was not a small amount.
It can hold about 1,500 short tons of cargo. That's a lot of oil.
It is a ton of oil. And so that means they were cooking the books, as they say, on where this oil was supposedly going. Because I mean, obviously they're showing it on their books as being sold. It's just it was probably not sold to Mexican Cartel, LLC, right?
Yeah. Interesting.
Dangerous game, man. But I just find it interesting. It is right here in Texas.
Doesn't surprise me. I got a buddy who does that. I'm going to call him and ask him about it.
So there, yes. Any additional information, I wouldn't mind having. This next story is really, really interesting. I think there's a video in there, but it probably has like a minute's worth of ads at the beginning. So if you do want to show it, you may want to load it up here. But this is really weird, man. In a stunning repeat of a February incident, a vehicle crashed into the Clay Ray Veterans Memorial Hall in Excelsior Springs, Missouri on Wednesday morning, damaging the exact same section of roof that had only recently been repaired. Now, why this is weird is because this building is located right alongside of an elevated highway, and apparently it's an area where the cars can kind of lose control. And lose control they do and fly right into the roof of this Veterans Hall. And the video is wicked because you just see it going right in to a building that's already been recently repaired. Emergency crews responded. Are you showing the video?
Yeah.
This is interesting. To the 208 Veterans.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Right. Gosh. That is wicked. And I guess.
Oh, I like this guy. There.
He's got his Trump hat on, of course.
I like that guy.
I was just in there tearing it up at Domino's again, as I always do. And I'll be Lord, a late model Camry come right through the roof.
You know, it's funny. Similar.
Actually, it looks like a Buick.
Similar scenario where I grew up was we lived on a cul-de-sac, and one of the corner houses on the cul-de-sac happened to be the corner of like the main entry to the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of the, you know, when you turn into a neighborhood, they had like a sign. Usually they have a sign for the
Of what
neighborhood.
the neighborhood is called?
Yeah, so it had the
Willow
sign, and then they
Springs.
had their backyard.
Villages of Willow
And
Springs. Mm-hmm.
multiple times people
Just
would
right the F through it.
right through it,
Yeah.
and then like they had cars in their backyard. They actually had to fill in their pool because they got tired of the costs of all the debris and brick going in the cars going into their pool.
Oh my God. I would think the pool would help keep the cars out of their house, though. Kind of like a moat.
Well, it does, but
a nice
I'll
barrier.
never forget that because they were the only ones on the block that had a pool.
Wow.
And then they were like, "No more pool, dog."
Wow. Well, apparently the last one went completely inside the building. This one wasn't nearly as committal, and there's still the sort of the rear end of the car was sticking out. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. All right, it's probably a pretty good time to take
funny.
a break. When we come back, we are going to discuss the death of a once happy experience right here on the Audience of One show.
Car enthusiasts of Conroe, FM 104.5 and 106.1 Lone Star Community Radio invites you to shift into gear every Monday from 1 to 2 with Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy for news on all things automotive in the greater Houston-Conroe area. Can't make a live show? We've got you covered. You can find all of our uncut content, including full episodes on Spotify, iTunes, Play Store, YouTube, Facebook, and irlonestar.com. Again, that's Mondays 1 to 2, Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy. See you there.
and we back. Audience of One show here on Lone Star Community Radio. We're here every Friday at 10 a.m. Always love to get feedback from you guys. Email us at audienceofoneshow@gmail.com or look us up on socials, all that kind of stuff. Don't forget to subscribe if you really want to listen to us every Friday at 10 a.m. And yeah, there we go.
And if just once a week is not enough for you, and you're a new listener, and we have new listeners all the time, do yourself a favor and go back and binge listen. I think we've got now over 120 episodes of this absolute ridiculous show for your listening enjoyment.
Yes.
So you can just binge it now, bruh. Binge it.
Yes.
Have you ever encountered the overly aggressive handshake guy?
Oh, yeah.
The guy that
all the
just
time.
squeezes the life out of your hand.
All the time.
This is so unnecessary.
No, I think they just don't know their power.
I think they know what they're doing, and it's really annoying. This happened to me a couple of years ago, moments before a competitive bowling tournament.
Ooh.
Met a guy, we were shaking everybody's hands, and he was subbing on our team and came over and crushed my hand to the point where I almost had to bow out of the competition because my hand had hurt so bad. And I'm like, come on, man. What are we doing? Are you trying to assert some dominance
that's why
over
you don't
people?
shake hands anymore. You just knuck.
I think I'm going to start knuck bumping.
Yeah.
Have you ever encountered the knuck bumping? Have you ever encountered the two-handed shake, the guy who'll cup your other hand too? That's always awkward too. I can't do that move because I feel weird doing it, or receiving it. So I can't imagine doing it to someone else. Maybe just look longingly in their eyes as you're sort of two-handing them. How are you doing? What's with the hand, the second hand? What is that supposed to do?
I don't care. I think it's fine. Whatever.
Just excess touching.
Do whatever you want to do.
This is like, we're going to exchange germs here. We're really going to exchange germs.
Yeah.
Both hands up on this, buddy.
We always, speaking of shaking hands, what I love is when you meet ladies.
Continue.
Or women, and you shake their hand. I always enjoy that.
That is awkward, shaking a woman's hand, but it's kind of become more commonplace.
Well, I think what happens to me is they never do what a guy does. And usually when you shake someone's hand, you're going full into the hand both ways.
Mm-hmm.
But when ladies shake hands,
it's like fingertips.
They're like fingertipping, and I'm always feeling like, oh, this is weird.
Like, oh man, I gotta kiss her hand. I gotta do it.
Or
just this overwhelming urge to kiss the hand. I know.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, slap the butt. Got it.
No, it's more of that wasn't. I wouldn't even call that a handshake.
Yeah, what is? That's like they're just presenting their hand to you.
Yeah,
yeah, look at that, 5 fingers. Cool.
Yeah, cool.
Knuckle bumping.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh man!
But I always laugh at that because I was like, oh, I felt weird. Is it just you've been shaking people's hands all your life, and then when you shake someone else, like when you get a bad handshake,
Oh yeah, like the really, really, really soft limp from another dude.
or from anybody, you
What- what
immediately know. You're like,
what is
regardless
this?
if it's what gender, I'm like, what? Oh, that's not a good hand. That's not how we're supposed to do it.
What are we doing?
It's like
here?
getting a bad high five.
Yeah.
Because when you don't have a good one, you're like, oh,
Yeah, you
that
kind of
was-
miss. You just like graze pinkies.
We just look like idiots.
Yeah, yeah. Like the Tiger Woods high five from like 2012, I guess it was.
I have no idea
Never
what you're
mind.
talking
Yeah, that's kind of the iconic bad high five. Actually, I don't think it was 2012.
Yeah, you know what's funny? That reminds me of the
Uh-huh.
conversation where like I enjoy golf, like I enjoy bowling, and we have a radio station, right? But I don't know anything about that world.
What does it have to do with the radio station?
Well, like when people find out that I run Lone Star, they start going listing all these famous DJs in their mind, and I was like, I have no idea who you're talking about, dude. And they're like, oh man, when I was in Sacramento, California, there was this guy. You ever heard DJ? Da, da, da? And I'm like, no, man, sorry. And like even here locally in Houston, they're like, oh, you don't remember this guy? I'm like, no, man, I have no idea.
But
like,
right now, you can only name one golfer too, so it kind of checks.
well,
with
same
you.
thing. Well, same with bowling. Like I really enjoy bowling, but people are like, hey, you know, TJ Hackett. And
Or EJ.
or EJ and
Tackett.
see, I was close. I was close, but like, it's really funny to me. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, he must be good. Like,
Why did you call him TJ Hackett?
I don't know. But it's like, same thing with golf. Like, I really enjoy
Greatness.
golf, and I like watching. I like watching golf. But I'm like, yeah, I know who Tiger Woods is, but it's not like when we went to
Oh,
go.
congratulations! You know who one of
Well,
the most recognizable
well,
athletes in the entire world
Well,
is.
it's like when we went to the golf thing, I was like, I don't really care. I like just watching golf. Like, clearly they're professional. We're at a professional event. That's cool. But like, if we went to go see the Houston Rockets, I'd be like, I don't know any of these people, but they're professional basketball players, so they're probably good. And,
one would think.
yeah.
one
and-
would
but
think.
my favorite was the radio because everyone thinks I know every artist and every DJ, every show. I'm like, nah, I don't.
I just come here, record, and go home and eat crawfish and play video games, bro.
Man, video games. But yeah, and I do know a lot about video games, sadly, and voice acting and that kind of stuff. But I don't know,
I'd love to be a voice actor.
especially when you play country music.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone thinks like you know every country song artist.
Only one I can think of right now is "Don't Furry My Texas." That's the only one that comes to my
don't
mind.
forget, that's a great song.
That is a great
that's
song.
a hit, top 10.
That is a hit.
But yeah, I always enjoyed that when people are like, "Oh, do you not know this?" I'm like, "No, like, I can't believe it. Like, how do you run a radio station and not know this?" I'm like,
You're not studying the art, that's for sure. Like I
Well,
just do it my own. People are studying me, man.
I am the art. But no, I always enjoy, especially with bowling. People are shocked that I don't know bowlers, and I'm like, because I remember I got a picture with him. Oh, it was something junior.
Walter Ray.
Yeah, Walter
Williams
Ray.
Jr.
Yeah, I met
Mhm.
him.
Yeah, has the most titles ever in the.
And I didn't
professional
even know it
women's
was
history.
him.
Mhm.
And I was like, cool. And
Some old dude.
well, then ironically, he was like, hey, I'm coming to Dr. Conroe to do some training if you want. I was
Mhm.
like, okay. And Dallas called me. He's like, I got him coming. I'm like, I know that guy.
Yeah, we're long lost
Let's
pals.
see what he can teach me.
Nothing now since your head is so large after that perfect game.
No,
Can't even fit through the door anymore.
That's very true.
Dick, do you? I know you talk
Well,
often.
hey, you want to talk about ego boosting?
Uh huh.
So I know a bunch of ladies that bowl on Monday, and they wanted me to sub for them, and I was like, oh, why you want me to sub? They're like,
Show off.
You know what they said? They said because you're a competitor,
Oh, you're such a bowling jock.
and I was sitting there like, oh yeah, I'll go. I'm a competitor.
Oh man, gross. Little do they know. Little do they know.
Well, they know that I'm not.
Dick,
Nah.
you talk about your siblings on this show quite often. How you're one of I don't know 6, I think
5.
5.
Yeah.
Do you think that there is a clear favorite amongst you? The one that the mom or the dad or both perhaps tend to favor the most? You don't have to name any names. Just a yes or a no.
No.
It could be you. I don't know.
Well,
Doubtful.
what's funny about the dynamic of my family is our ages are so wide apart,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone has their faults, and everyone has their achievements in their own regard. And what I've learned,
Yours is judged on a sliding scale, but continue.
well, what I've learned, especially when you want to become the favorite,
mm-hmm.
you literally just have to be the one that communicates. That's how you win the mom and
Says
dad.
the guy in front of a microphone broadcasting to the greater Conroe area.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, more of like for example,
Like how you set that one up,
No, like I got in trouble for Mother's Day.
right? Because y'all did. Nobody contacted her.
Well, because she was on a trip.
correct. Out of
And then
out of the
she made a
country.
comment when I last saw her. She's like, yeah, you didn't even wish me happy Mother's Day. I was like,
Well, I think you guys need to do a little experiment here. If there's ever a time where you can get all of your siblings in the same room at the same time, you have, say, you call your mom first, and you're making small talk. Then you have one of your siblings call to see if she answers the phone, says, oh, I've got another call. She knows she's prioritized that person.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't, she still talks to you, have your other sibling
See,
call. And if she takes that second call, but not the second
I
one,
will
we've
say, again,
established a priority
if
here.
you're doing it that way, she would answer John's call above everyone else's because John never calls her. It's like if I was, she'd immediately hang up on me because I talk to her all the time.
But little does she know, she doesn't know you guys are in the same room.
Oh, yeah.
She could say something, I've got to run. I have to go. Or she could say, I have another call. I don't think she's going to say, I have to hang up with you because I need to talk to John.
No, I talk. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it were basing off that, 100%, I'd be the least. Like, I don't care. I'll talk to you later, Richard. And that. So.
Okay. Well, I still think it'd be a nice experiment for the Schisler family to do.
Yeah. But I do know certain siblings are on SHIT lists a lot. And again, it's just communication.
I know
That's
what
all
that
it
spells.
is. It's all communication. And that's the same thing with my grandmother. I call my grandmother all the time, and
somehow still not her favorite. Gosh.
No, I don't think she really can do that because she has so many grandkids.
Yeah.
I want to say she's got like 30 something grandkids or something like that.
That's a lot.
And then it's obscene.
It is.
So I think she's just all she wants is a phone call and make her day. And that's what I love hearing from my aunts and my dad. Were like, hey, when you called her, that made her day.
Aw.
And I'm like,
look
oh
at
yeah,
you.
dude.
Look at you. Give her a shout out right here on the show. Go for it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm allowing it.
Hey, Muzz.
Oh, look at that. All right, enough of this. Dick, this next story, to kick off the second half of the show, every now and again, I get these, and it just reminds me
We'll take a step back real quick.
Of why I do this
When
show.
you know you're the favorite, is that when like they go through the will?
Oh, yeah. That is interesting. If you're at a will reading and everything's going to you or a majority of things going to you, do you just kind of like start high-stepping it, pointing at everybody going, I knew it! I'm the fave!
Like, isn't like in tradition, the oldest son is traditionally the one who's like in charge now?
I mean, sure.
I'm not saying every family's like that, but I meant like if you read stories and go back
sure,
thousands of years,
it's
usually it's the first son.
Mm-hmm.
And see, that's where, so it's so funny is technically I'm my dad's only son.
I know, you've mentioned that before.
So
to the victor go the spoils.
Yeah,
huh?
and I always make that joke to my brothers. And a little backstory, I was raised to call them my brothers. I didn't even know what a half brother was until, like 16.
Until you got one.
Until like I was like, oh, you have a different dad. And then I always still my brothers, but now over older, I'd be like, you guys know I'm like the only real son.
I'm the chosen one.
I'm the guy.
The one behind the mic. Listen to this, Dick. An Australian woman has fallen victim to what might be described as the most vindictive biological attack in relationship history. Now, if that is not a tease, a small market radio tease, I don't know what is, but listen to this. Christine Connell endured years of persistent facial pain before finally discovering the cause. Her boyfriend's fart. It turns out after a nose swab that she had been suffering as a result of E. coli bacteria getting lodged in her sinuses, a surprising location for a germ that is normally found in the gut. Medical professionals were baffled by how the fecal bacteria could travel through the air to infect her sinuses, but now they believe they have found the source. A hotel room incident following ankle surgery when her boyfriend farted in close proximity while she was bedridden and, quote, vulnerable. How close was this guy?
This is a great story. And this is right up my alley.
Yes, I told you every now and again I come across a story that I think, this is the reason why I do this show.
Well,
this is certainly what
the way you just... Oh, ex-boyfriend now. That's unfortunate.
Oh, no, they're not together, huh?
Oh, man.
Imagine dating her after that. What's wrong with you? Well, my ex-boyfriend's still...
Well, like, what? I think that'd be a hilarious couple story. Because imagine the doctor's visit and you had this weird thing going on with your sinuses. You're like, I just can't explain what's happening. And then it's like, oh, you have E. coli. And you're like, how do I get that? It's like, from poop. And it's like, well, when are you smelling the toilet?
So I guess he
or-
was doing one of these things where he's the cool boyfriend. He's like, we fart in front of each other and she can't move. So he did one of those leg lifters. And apparently it was so close that it released particles into her nose.
Well-
She said she didn't go as far as to call it a biological weapon, but she did describe it as, quote, the worst fart I have ever smelled in my life.
Hold on, how does she know it was that fart that did it?
Yeah, this is true. A guy who's willing to do that to his girl right after ankle surgery
Where I thought you were gonna
probably does it quite often.
Where I thought you were gonna go with the story is he's been secretly farting in her face while she's sleeping or
Could
something.
be.
Like,
I mean, this guy, who knows? That's just the one she's copping to in this story.
Man.
But yeah, man, that is kind of interesting that you can catch a sinus infection from someone passing gas on your face.
I think that's a great story. That changes my entire perspective of farting.
Yeah. So, are you one of these guys who does that in front of your significant other or girlfriend,
I'm the
boyfriend?
guy who does it if I need to do it.
Well, okay, then I think you just answered the question.
But,
I think there are certain lines that shouldn't be crossed. That's one of them. This guy clearly, and this is the reason why.
well, also, I don't know. If I have to fart, I got to fart, guys. Like, I don't understand.
But here's the thing, though. If she's been suffering this for 7 years, and she can remember that one incident 7 years ago, this must have been quite a memorable gas explosion.
Yeah.
Because if we're assuming he does it all the time, but
Well,
she remembers this
everyone
one.
farts. What are you talking about?
Not on people.
Well, it didn't sound like he did it on her.
I think it's going to have to be like part
That's
the Red
project-
Seas,
yeah,
and
that's-
like
That's what I'm saying.
she was vulnerable and laying immobile in a bed. This guy sounds like a real ass.
I like it. No, he probably had his ankle hurting, and she was taking care of him down there. And then it was like, I'm gonna get her good.
Again, just let this be a lesson to you, Dick, when you're getting all freaky or just pranking. This could have terrible consequences that go sideways.
I mean, well, that's what I love about relationships is that's one of those scenarios where it could be so horrific for the other person, like they have to break up with you. Or it could be so bonding because how ridiculous the scenario is.
It doesn't say how long after said incident they broke up. I'd be curious if
Yeah.
it was maybe when she got the diagnoses of E. coli in her face and then put together 7 years of misery because of it. That's when she said, "Enough!
Yeah.
I'm not taking this crap anymore.
Well, I wonder.
I've taken enough crap from you already."
Well, not even that. Like,
Straight up my
imagine
nose.
the recovery, like the 3 years of it taking figuring out the coli or whatever.
7.
7. Well, then it's kind of like your boyfriend farts again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have some PTSD, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like you're with your next
like-
guy and he accidentally lets one kind of go by the goalkeeper there, little squeaker,
Yeah.
and she's runs
Yeah,
off
That's
terrified.
funny. Again, that's a
I'm
great scenario.
traumatized by
I
passing
wonder.
of gas.
I wonder.
This show's
Well,
so
that's-
stupid. I love it though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, it's such a weird thing to me because people are sensitive to that, especially like using the restroom and especially in relationships. But then it's like, I don't know. I grew up with 3 brothers and 2 sisters, and like,
So that just was commonplace, that type of
well,
activity.
it's just like better out than in, right?
I guess so. I could go into what are some of the most common E. coli symptoms, but I don't think we need to.
Yeah, it's not
It doesn't look good.
pink eye.
Dodging vehicles and narrowly missing being hit. A pet zebra ran into the traffic along a busy greater Nashville interstate over the weekend, officials said. And as of the recording of this show, and we are recording a little early this week, this zebra is still out on the loose. And I do think there is a video in this link I sent you of a zebra just running amok in the middle of downtown and through neighborhoods. But as of June 2nd, the zebra remains missing, it says. The zebra broke loose on Saturday, quote, wreaking havoc on Interstate 24 near blah, blah, blah. And yeah, it says this parkway is about 35 miles south of downtown Nashville in the city of Murfreesboro, which I have been to, by the way.
I think it's great to drive. All of a sudden, you see a zebra.
Right. And here's the thing, is what most people don't understand, and the only reason I'm doing this, is they've had to put out, like, warnings to residents around there. Don't go up to this animal, because apparently zebras are not real friendly. They'll bite, they'll kick,
I like
they'll
it.
do all kinds of stuff. They look nice. Maybe a zonkey. A zonkey, I think, would probably be okay. But a zebra, he's pissed off. I think he's probably the most pissed off animal in the animal kingdom. Look at him. Striped, for crying out
I'm
loud.
trying to play this video, but there's so
Oh,
many
well,
ads.
I was going to say, you got to show the video. It is pretty wild, man. According to the police sheriff's office, the zebra escaped into a wooded area off of Interstate 24, blah, 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 Saturday afternoon, like I said. The parkway is a busy thoroughfare with scores of businesses and other establishments lining it. Yeah.
Again, I would think it'd be pretty cool to see it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. The video is awesome, as you can see that guy just running along. They are, look, I was making fun of them earlier. They are pretty. You don't oftentimes see an animal with stripes like that, but certainly don't approach him if you happen to see him out in the wild. All of our Murfreesboro residents. Yeah, he's running across the street.
He slipped. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Dick, were you aware that back in...
Why didn't you get the zebra to do a cameo for my birthday?
Well, he's busy running. He'd probably be out of breath anyways.
He's on the run. He's on the run.
Were you aware that back in 2017 at a music festival in France, that 14 people were simultaneously struck by lightning?
Oh, wow. Different areas?
I think it was just one bolt zapped 14 people, and they apparently all agreed to be studied by scientists.
Cool.
Yeah, man. So that got me thinking about lightning strikes in general. Do you think that lightning strikes have gone up or down since 1940?
I would say up.
Since the 1940s, the annual number of fatalities from lightning has been decreasing.
You didn't say fatalities in the original.
Oh, did I not?
No.
I'm sorry, fatalities.
I would have definitely said decreased.
Yeah. How fortuitous. In 1940, lightning was the number one weather-related killer, which is kind of surprising because you can think about how many people die from hurricanes and tornadoes.
Not that many.
I guess not. And I'm wondering why it's going down. Is it because we have early detection now, or we know, hey, don't wave a metal rod out in the air when there's a light? Because I know now during sporting events, if there's anything within a 10-mile radius,
well, no,
it's
because climate change and the strength of lightning has gone down.
It's even more. No, it's even more stronger.
It's less strong. It's less strong.
Okay.
So it won't kill you.
It's gentle now.
It's gentle.
It said in 2023, the National Weather Service reported only 14 lightning-related fatalities. This downward trend highlights improved safety awareness and underscores the importance of seeking shelter during thunderstorms. I did see a video recently of these two people. I guess it was on a closed caption or like a Ring doorbell. It was across the street, and these two people were standing underneath a tree. They got hit by lightning, and they simultaneously, almost as if in slow motion, just collapsed. These two people on either side of the tree.
And then they switched personalities?
Both of them perished.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Whoa. But that's kind of your first instinct, is to run underneath a tree, thinking that's going to protect you, but au contraire, these people ate it. Switch personalities? I feel like that's a reference to every Disney movie from the late 1990s.
Well, lightning is magic.
Is it? Well, it's also dangerous too, Dick.
Well, no kidding.
You ever been really, really close to lightning? Like an actual bolt?
It was right next to my bedroom.
Was it?
Our house got struck by lightning.
Oh. Wow. What did you do?
What was creepy about it is we all woke up.
No, I mean, what did you do to deserve it?
Oh, it's easy. I was born. I was cursed when I was born. No, it was in the middle of the night. All of a sudden, you hear a train hitting something, and we didn't even know it hit the house. We all woke up, though. We all met in the middle of the house. We're like, oh, you're up, you're up, you're up, you're up.
Did you say you heard a train?
It sounded like...
sounded like
a train hitting something, and we all woke up simultaneously. And then we went downstairs, and then the lightning was still going on, thunder, and all of a sudden, one of us noticed there's bricks all over the backyard through the quick flashes. And then my dad immediately told my brother to go up to we had like an attic space, and he's like, go check the attic. And then he started screaming, fire, fire, and it burnt down like that whole upstairs.
Scary, man.
It was pretty baller.
I knew a guy whose house was hit by lightning that blew the front door off the microwave. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
House struck twice.
It's loud, and it's there.
Dick, are you a fan of happy hour? You know what I mean when I generally say happy hour?
Yeah, of course.
Is that like
that's mainly
3, 4 in the afternoon to like 6,
I
right?
think it's whatever they want it to be.
Yeah.
To be honest, I've been to places where it's like, hey, we changed things up in happy hour. Happy hour is from 9 p.m. to closing.
$2 off appetizers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for a deal.
Yeah. You can just take the deal off. Gotcha. Yeah, anything where you feel like you're getting a discount, you're all about.
I'll be like, I'll spend more money.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes no sense.
Psychology works on you.
Well, it's more decision making, if that makes sense.
Say what?
Like it's more for decision making. Like if I go to a restaurant and they have a lunch menu,
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
You're
like,
I'm
oh,
just going to go
easy.
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
less
like,
choices, it's cheaper.
yeah.
Portions might be smaller. Well, apparently the happy hour, the very popular, we're going after work to grab a few drinks to get sloshed
I don't
with
really
your
do that.
coworkers.
I don't really do that.
Well, a lot of people do who have normal 9-to-5 jobs,
Yeah.
but apparently that practice amongst young Gen Zs coming into the workforce, they just don't do it. And the happy hour is going away, essentially.
I believe it.
Yeah, man. It says people used to work from 9 to 5, but no more. Really, people have odd hours. They work from home. They're remote. So work never really begins and ends at a formal set time. Everybody has different schedules, flex schedules. So because of that, people aren't going out to the bar and getting a little sloppy with their coworkers. Maybe getting a little handsy. You never know. Sometimes, hey, things happen at happy hour, Nick.
I have no idea. Never really been to one.
I mean, the potato skins start flying at half price, and you never know what's going to happen. The Long Island iced teas are $2 off, and the next day at work is really awkward.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't really consider bowling happy hour, would you?
No. Why would you consider bowling happy hour?
know.
Bowling is an activity, sir.
Well, there is but downtown we have a bunch of happy hours, but I never participated.
Well, this is a discouraging sign for those in the hospitality business, Dick. This is what I'm getting at, is folks who really make their living off of...
Is it because they're not drinking, or is it because...
Well, that is also a thing. Drinking is declining amongst the younger, as well as they're going more towards the...
Cannabis?
Cannabis,
Yeah.
I think, is this.
Well, I also think that growing up, especially as like now, like happy hour, I have no desire to drink during the week unless I'm bowling.
Right. We discovered this or talked about this, which means you bowl 5 nights a week
Well,
to support your drinking habit, right?
Well, no, I don't.
I got to drink tonight. Got to go up to the bowling alley to justify it.
That's what I tell people. I'm like, I don't drink at home. I don't. The only time I drink is when I'm bowling, unfortunately, for my body.
Well, what this means...
bowl every day.
What this means for a lot of restaurateurs and patrons of said restaurants are the food prices are likely going to have to rise to make up for the lack of revenue in drinks and happy hours that some of these restaurants really used to rely on. So there you go. You might suffer because of it, Dick.
Well, I also think it depends on where you're working.
Sure.
Because to me, it's all about
But
convenience,
this is
right?
like an overall thing.
Yeah.
I'm talking about just in general.
It's got to be convenience. That's what the younger generation's all about, convenience. So it's like, oh, I got to work at 5. I have to wait 45 minutes at this place for everyone else to show up. Nope. Like, not doing that.
Yeah. They have better things with their time.
Yeah.
Just meet me on Soch.
Well, that's when you do the ultimate thing and you have happy hour at your house and you host it for people.
I wouldn't want everybody over at my house in the middle of the afternoon.
That's because you're not a sociable person.
This is true.
And we can rotate the houses. That's right.
Dick, I figured you would know what this is. Are you familiar with what the Australian celebration known as a shoey is?
No.
Really? I kind of thought, since you're all in those weird Euro sports, maybe you'd be like, oh yeah, I know what a shoey is. I did it last night. It is the art of drinking alcohol from a shoe.
I know that. Well, it's similar to the, what is it? Where is it? There's some hockey team where it might be Nashville, where they do a shoey off a fish.
Wait, a shoey off a fish?
Yeah, like they called it. Now I know what you're talking about with shoey. But yeah, they would pour beer in the fish's mouth.
Ew!
And then
that's
drink
called a fishy.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Is the fish alive?
No, it's dead.
That makes it somehow worse. I don't know.
But it is one of those bizarre. I saw a funny video. I think you look it up. There was like a Predators game, and this one dude like took his shirt off and was like acting all crazy, and then his like little daughter acting all crazy, and then the next thing they show is a guy with a fish. I was like, what's going on here?
That is odd. Well, apparently this is an Australian thing, or at least it started there, but now it's kind of catching on, as it says everyone from Kylie Minogue to Harry Styles, even Lizzo, who, by the way, has dropped a few LBs here lately. I don't know if you've seen her, have partaken, and this says, in a tipple. I guess tipple me is another word for tipping back your shoe. But while Australia has claimed the bizarre practice on its own, drinking from a shoe is actually thought to date back hundreds, if not thousands, of years. Drinking from a shoe or a boot believed to date back to the Middle Ages, when it was thought to bring good luck. The stuff always goes back to good luck or not. Man, I am not.
I would do it if
drinking
someone told
out
me
of my
to,
shoe.
but I'm not going to do it for fun.
Oh, it says by World War II, German soldiers were said to share a drink from a leather boot filled with beer to bring luck on the battlefield. And now they have E. coli of their face. Hey man, fart on my face.
Hey,
Good luck.
Ask those soldiers how it ended up.
Yeah, it couldn't have been too much luck, huh? Know what I'm saying? You remember D-Day? Whatever.
I mean VE Day?
VE?
Victory Europe?
Yeah.
They remember that.
Yeah, I bet. Well, some of them do. Anyways, are we good on time? About ready for the quick hit here at the end of the show?
Hit.
All right, Dick. Quick hit. Do you know who Edward Gale is?
No, I don't.
Well, he died just last week, May 27th, 2005. He was an American actor and stunt performer.
Cool.
And this also says, and registered sex offender. Not sure I want that on my Wikipedia
why are you
page.
bringing that up?
Who appeared in films and television series primarily between 1986 and 2013. But he is notably the physical performer in Chucky, Child's Play 2, and The Bride of Chucky. So he apparently was a little guy that would run around dressed as the doll. I guess he's a stunt double. He debuted in 1986 in the movie Howard the Duck. Did you remember Howard the Duck? Yeah. It says, while Chip Zien, I guess that's the voice actor, provided Howard's voice, Gale was the actor in the suit throughout the film. And in 1988, he played Chucky in the horror film, like I said, Child's Play. He went on to appear in other movies, blah, 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 blah. But apparently this guy just recently passed away, but is a notable sex offender as well.
I don't know why you bring up. This is a great way to end the show.
Well,
Jesus.
I was going to say he's not our onesie of the week because in 2023 he was accused by a group of online predator hunters for attempting to solicit sex from multiple minors. So, R.I.P. there, Edward Gale. It looks like later in life you made some poor decisions, but hey, you will always be Howard the Duck in my heart.
That's cool.
That's a classic film. Classic, I say.
You like how he's in the MCU,
The MCU?
Marvel Comic Universe.
Oh, Howard the Duck?
Yeah.
Is he really?
Mm-hmm.
Doing what?
I think there was actually a special post credit on one of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and he was part of the collectors, like ensemble or collectors. Actually, he was stuck there.
Interesting.
And he was just sitting there drinking,
like in the background, kind of somewhere.
Well, he was like, "I'm still here."
Yeah.
It's like kind of whack. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm glad we got the show in. I don't know if we're going to get one in next week. I will be out of town. So, onesies, if we don't get a show in, we'll see you in 2 weeks. But we're going to try.
Yeah,
we're going to try.
Real hard.
Real hard. Next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Driving real slow in the HOV. Not really sure if I'm supposed to be. Do I have to pay or is this free? No way to know, but damn, it's good to be me. I'm Dick, I'm a funny guy. I'm Dick, I don't really fly. I'm Dick, I live life on the edge, eating crawfish till the day I die. So it's always a surprise. No prep needed, cause I'm so wise. If you need to reach me, you know where I'll be. Probably at the alley hanging with my guys. I'm Dick, I'm the funny guy. I'm Dick, I don't really fly. I'm Dick, I live life on the edge, eating crawfish till the day I die. I'm Dick, I'm a funny guy. I'm Dick, I don't really fly. I'm Dick, I live life on the edge, eating crawfish till the day I die.